Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Characteristic way of bearing one's body. The direction or path along which something moves or along which it lies. Dignified manner or conduct. Heraldry consisting of a design or image depicted on a shield. A rotating support placed between moving parts to allow them to move easily. Of a structural member, withstanding a weight or strain. Relevant relation or interconnection. Those issues have no bearing on our situation. Characteristic way of bearing one's body. A small vehicle with 4 wheels in which a baby or child is pushed around. A railcar where passengers ride. A vehicle with wheels drawn by 1 or more horses. A machine part that carries something else. Characteristic way of bearing one's body. Stood with good posture. Capability in terms of personnel and materiel that affect the capacity to fight a war. Politicians have neglected our military posture. A rationalized mental attitude. The arrangement of the body and its limbs. Assume a posture as for artistic purposes. Behave affectedly or unnaturally in order to impress others. She postured and made a total fool of herself. The direction or path along which something moves or along which it lies. Specifically design a product, event, or activity for a certain public. Have an ambitious plan or a lofty goal. An anticipated outcome that is intended or that guides your planned actions. It was created with the conscious aim of answering immediate needs. Move into a desired direction of discourse. The goal intended to be attained, and which is believed to be attainable. Intend, something, to move towards a certain goal. He aimed his fists towards his opponent's face. Propose or intend. I aim to arrive at noon. Point or cause to go, blows, weapons, or objects such as photographic equipment, towards. Please don't aim at your little brother. Direct, a remark, toward an intended goal. She wanted to aim a pun. The action of directing something at an object. He took aim and fired. The direction or path along which something moves or along which it lies. A line of text serving to indicate what the passage below it is about. The heading seemed to have little to do with the text. A horizontal, or nearly horizontal, passageway in a mine. Dignified manner or conduct. Dignified manner or conduct. The immediate proximity of someone or something. She blushed in his presence. Dignified manner or conduct. An invisible spiritual being felt to be nearby. The act of being present. The impression that something is present. He felt the presence of an evil force. The state of being present, current existence. He tested for the presence of radon. Heraldry consisting of a design or image depicted on a shield. Criminal law. A pleading describing some wrong or offense. He was arrested on a charge of larceny. Move quickly and violently. A quantity of explosive to be set off at one time. This cartridge has a powder charge of 50 grains. The quantity of unbalanced electricity in a body, either positive or negative, and construed as an excess or deficiency of electrons. The battery needed a fresh charge. Cause to be agitated, excited, or roused. The speaker charged up the crowd with his inflammatory remarks. Psychoanalysis. The libidinal energy invested in some idea or person or object. Freud thought of cathexis as a psychic analog of an electrical charge. Demand payment. Will I get charged for this service? Direct into a position for use. He charged his weapon at me. Blame for. Make a claim of wrongdoing or misbehavior against. He charged the director with indifference. Request for payment of a debt. They submitted their charges at the end of each month. Cause to be admitted. Of persons to an institution. File a formal charge against. The suspect was charged with murdering his wife. To make a rush at or sudden attack upon, as in battle. Give over to another for care or safekeeping. Provide, a device, with something necessary. Attention and management implying responsibility for safety. A special assignment that is given to a person or group. His charge was deliver a message. Heraldry consisting of a design or image depicted on a shield. A formal statement of a command or injunction to do something. The judge's charge to the jury. Attribute responsibility to. The tragedy was charged to her inexperience. An assertion that someone is guilty of a fault or offense. The newspaper published charges that Jones was guilty of drunken driving. The swift release of a store of effective force. Impose a task upon, assign a responsibility to. He charged her with cleaning up all the files over the weekend. Assign a duty, responsibility or obligation to. She was charged with supervising the creation of a concordance. An impetuous rush toward someone or something. The wrestler's charge carried him past his adversary. A person committed to your care. The teacher led her charges across the street. Cause formation of a net electrical charge in or on. Charge a conductor. Energize a battery by passing a current through it in the direction opposite to discharge. I need to charge my car battery. Enter a certain amount as a charge. He charged me $15. Fill or load to capacity. Charge the wagon with hay. Financial liabilities, such as a tax. The charges against the estate. Instruct, a jury, about the law, its application, and the weighing of evidence. Instruct or command with authority. The teacher charged the children to memorize the poem. Lie down on command, of hunting dogs. Make an accusatory claim. The defense attorney charged that the jurors were biased. Pay with a credit card. Pay with plastic money. Postpone payment by recording a purchase as a debt. Will you pay cash or charge the purchase? Place a heraldic bearing on. Charge all weapons, shields, and banners. Saturate. The room was charged with tension and anxiety. Set or ask for a certain price. How much do you charge for lunch? The price charged for some article or service. The admission charge. Heraldry consisting of a design or image depicted on a shield. Capable of bearing a structural load. Furnishing support and encouragement. The anxious child needs supporting and accepting treatment from the teacher. The act of bearing the weight of or strengthening. Capable of bearing a structural load. A supporting wall. An attribute of the body. The act of setting and holding a course. A new council was installed under the direction of the king. The concentration of attention or energy on something. He had no direction in his life. The act of managing something. Is the direction of the economy a function of government? A line leading to a place or point. He looked the other direction. A formal statement of a command or injunction to do something. Something that provides direction or advice as to a decision or course of action. A message describing how something is to be done. He gave directions faster than she could follow them. A general course along which something has a tendency to develop. I couldn't follow the direction of his thoughts. The spatial relation between something and the course along which it points or moves. He checked the direction and velocity of the wind. Space for movement. Make way for. A course of conduct. We went our separate ways. Thing or person that acts to produce a particular effect or achieve an end. The true way to success. A line leading to a place or point. Didn't know the way home. To a great degree or by a great distance. Very much, right smart, is regional in the United States. Way over budget. How something is done or how it happens. A lonely way of life. A general category of things, used in the expression, in the way of. They didn't have much in the way of clothing. A journey or passage. They are on the way. Any artifact consisting of a road or path affording passage from one place to another. He said he was looking for the way out. A portion of something divided into shares. They split the loot 3 ways. Doing as one pleases or chooses. If I had my way. The condition of things generally. That's the way it is. The property of distance in general. It's a long way to Moscow. A way of acting or behaving. A way of acting or behaving. How something is done or how it happens. Her dignified manner. A kind. What manner of man are you? Emblem indicating the right of a person to bear arms. The study and classification of armorial bearings and the tracing of genealogies. Financial resources provided to make some project possible. The foundation provided support for the experiment. Argue or speak in defense of. She supported the motion to strike. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. A military operation, often involving new supplies of men and materiel, to strengthen a military force or aid in the performance of its mission. They called for artillery support. Be the physical support of, carry the weight of. He supported me with one hand while I balanced on the beam. Adopt as a belief. The financial means whereby one lives. He applied to the state for support. A musical part, vocal or instrumental, that supports or provides background for other musical parts. The act of bearing the weight of or strengthening. He leaned against the wall for support. Be a regular customer or client of. Documentary validation. The strongest support for this view is the work of Jones. Establish or strengthen as with new evidence or facts. The evidence supports the defendant. Be behind. Approve of. Support with evidence or authority or make more certain or confirm. Give moral or psychological support, aid, or courage to. She supported him during the illness. Aiding the cause or policy or interests of. The president no longer has the support of his own party. Any device that bears the weight of another thing. There was no place to attach supports for a shelf. Play a subordinate role to another performer. Olivier supported Gielgud beautifully in the second act. Something providing immaterial assistance to a person or cause or interest. The policy found little public support. Supporting structure that holds up or provides a foundation. The statue stood on a marble support. Support materially or financially. He does not support his natural children. The activity of providing for or maintaining by supplying with money or necessities. His support kept the family together. A particular manner of connectedness. The relatedness of all living things. Manner of walking. The act of traveling by foot. Walking is a healthy form of exercise. Careers in general. It happens in all walks of life. Take a walk. Go for a walk. Walk for pleasure. The lovers held hands while walking. Manner of walking. He had a funny walk. Baseball. An advance to first base by a batter who receives 4 balls. A path set aside for walking. After the blizzard, he shoveled the front walk. Accompany or escort. I'll walk you to your car. A slow gait of a horse in which 2 feet are always on the ground. Be or act in association with. We must walk with our dispossessed brothers and sisters. Give a base on balls to. Live or behave in a specified manner. Walk in sadness. Make walk. He walks the horse up the mountain. Obtain a base on balls. The act of walking somewhere. He took a walk after lunch. Traverse or cover by walking. Paul walked the streets of Damascus. Use one's feet to advance. Advance by steps. We walked instead of driving. Walk at a pace. The horses walked across the meadow. Beautiful carriage. Unskillfulness resulting from a lack of training. The inelegance of someone stiff and unrelaxed, as by embarrassment. Trouble in carrying or managing caused by bulk or shape. The quality of an embarrassing situation. He sensed the awkwardness of his proposal. The carriage of someone whose movements and posture are ungainly or inelegant. Unskillfulness resulting from a lack of training. The inelegance of someone stiff and unrelaxed, as by embarrassment. The carriage of someone whose movements and posture are ungainly or inelegant. Assume a drooping posture or carriage. An incompetent person, usually used in negative constructions. He's no slouch when it comes to baseball. A stooping carriage in standing and walking. Walk slovenly. Gear for a horse. Reverse, a direction, attitude, or course of action. Turn into the wind. The sailors decided to tack the boat. Nautical, a line, rope or chain, that regulates the angle at which a sail is set in relation to the wind. Nautical, the act of changing tack. Create by putting components or members together. He tacked together some verses. Sew together loosely, with large stitches. Fix to. Attach. A short nail with a sharp point and a large head. Fasten with tacks. Tack the notice on the board. Sailing a zigzag course. The heading or position of a vessel relative to the trim of its sails. Overbearing pride evidenced by a superior manner toward inferiors. Formality in bearing and appearance. Formality in bearing and appearance. The quality of being worthy of esteem or respect. It was beneath his dignity to cheat. Formality in bearing and appearance. He behaved with great dignity. High office or rank or station. He respected the dignity of the emissaries.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.